something so badly that the only way to achieve your dream was to do it in disguise.
Well, that's exactly what happened to the woman in our next film, and former England footballer and our very own Alex Scott has been to find out more.
My footballing career has taken me all the way to the Women's World Cup. But if it hadn't been for the Trailblazers before me, I may never have had the chance to dream big. And now it's the turn of these budding footballers in Ayrshire.
I would like to end up playing for Scotland.
I want to play for Rangers. I would love to play for Scotland and lift the trophy.
For these girls, the future is bright. And it all started with Rose Reilly, the first British woman and only Scot ever to lift the World Cup. She had to fight for her space on the pitch and in history.
My mum said as soon as I could walk, I was vertical, let's say. I had a football at my foot and I slept with it for two reasons. One, because I was in love with it, and two, I was afraid my mum would take it off me.
When she was 6, Rose joined the local boys team, but she'd have to cut her hair and change her name to Ross.
My teammates were aware who I was, but for the opposing team, I was Ross, otherwise I'd start getting banned right away. It just wasn't right.
And as Rose's footballing skills grew, so did the obstacles that were put in her way.
It's middle 60s, 70s. My dream was to be a professional footballer. But the SFA wouldn't allow us women to play in official football grounds. It was a male-dominated world, but nobody can stop me playing football. It was the only thing I loved to do.
So Rose moved to Europe, where she was allowed to play professionally.
It was just amazing to play in front of crowds, to get accepted as women footballers in Italy, where football is actually a religion for them.
Rose was so successful that she was granted Italian citizenship. In 1984, she led their national team to victory in the Women's World Cup.
We were just walking around in cloud nine, but I always say it was a Scottish heart beating under an Italian jersey.
Thankfully, Rose is now being recognised in her home country. She was the first woman to be inducted into the Scottish Football Hall of Fame, followed by my former Arsenal teammate Julie Fleeting, who has 121 caps for Scotland.
There obviously is a greater interest in women's football now. A massive thing that's grown is how technical the players have become.
We don't want comparison with the men's game because there isn't a comparison. We're good in our own right. Sometimes we're better in our own right.
The doors are now really starting to open for girls, and it's fantastic to see, because it was a struggle back in the day, and I think you've been a pioneer.
I can't be with Rose today, but I want to pay my own special tribute to her.
Hi Rose, it's Alex Scott here. I wish that I had known your story when I was starting out. My role models were male football players because I didn't know that there were female players that I could aspire to be like. The women's game has come so far, and I have to say I'm so proud of the part that I've played in that. But it all started with women like you. Thank you, Rose.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
And I'm not the only one who wants to show their appreciation.
Thank you, Rose, for everything you've done for women's football.
The doors that you've opened for us, you know, we're so thankful.
Thank you for being a trailblazer for women's football.
Thank you, Rose, for paving the way for girls' football. It wouldn't be like it is today without you. Thank you.
Young girls getting the opportunity to play the game. This is my legacy.